Do you ever wonder why some white people are so quick to call the police on black people for doing everyday activities and just doing them as a black person? There's a reason for that. So I want to talk about that today. Now, we saw a multitude of stories this spring and summer of white people calling the police on black people for doing things that some white people thought were wrong, like trespassing at Starbucks, barbecuing without a permit, selling water without a permit, never mind that you're an 8-year-old, leaving a California Airbnb with luggage, attempting to use the community pool in the community you live in, trying to use a coupon at CVS, going to the community pool with a resident as a guest and being physically attacked and verbally assaulted, inspecting a residence as a real estate investor, attempting to study and listen to music and being attacked with a metal rod and verbally assaulted, falling asleep while studying at Yale University, eating lunch at Smith College, and all the other incidents that this short video do not allow me to name. But I tell you what, whatever I miss, please make sure you write it in the comments section below. But why do some white people do this? Why do they feel compelled to interfere with these everyday activities that are harmless? What makes them feel entitled to report you to the law? Well, let's look back at history. History which shapes beliefs, character, and perception. Now, this country has a terrible and unresolved history of enslavement that inspired, created, and inflamed racism and white supremacy beliefs. These beliefs were cemented in the minds of many white people with the creation of legal slave codes that were laws, legal laws, enforceable laws, which defined the status of slaves and the rights of its owners and the responsibilities of owners. Now, South Carolina was the first state to establish slave codes in 1695, and it would serve as a model for other colonies in North America. The South Carolina Slave Code, as many of them were, was amended in 1712, and it included the following. It said that slaves were forbidden to leave the owner's property unless they were accompanied by a white person or had permission. If a slave left the owner's property without permission, every white person was required to chastise such slaves. I said every white person was required to chastise such slaves, and that was the law. Now, if you think back of any of those incidents that I named, did they happen if there was a white person there? Well, obviously they didn't happen, because there was no other white person there. I guess the better question would be, when you are with a white person, are you less likely to be accosted by these individuals who question where you are because you're with a white person? So in other words, when you're not with a white person, you are off the plantation, baby. When you are off the plantation and are not with a white person, you are out of place, according to some white people. And that's why some white people feel emboldened to question you, to ask for your identification or suspect you. They believe that they're following the law. And many of them may not even be aware of the slave codes. They're just simply acting out of what became a natural response over time based on racist behavior, based on the perception and stereotypes that were given about black people, based on the history of this country. We have to look back in order to move forward. Okay, so please make sure that you understand that those individuals who are stopping black people and questioning whether they belong in a certain place, that they too are working from a broken mentality, as some black people are, and they're working from historical elitism when they call the law. Know this so that you know how to handle them. Okay, remember, in their twisted minds, you are off the plantation, and they go into action. And we see that time after time after time. They can call it racial profiling if they want to. They didn't call it that in 1695 in South Carolina, but that's exactly what it is. And that practice continues with us today. Okay? Do you want to know why they call the police so quickly? You can check that out in my future video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this information so that other people can be informed about what's going on so that they know how to respond. They have to know history, and you have to know history in order to know how you're going to respond now and in the future. Let's remake the world where we can all live free. Until next time, peace to you and yours.